National 5 Maths, Practice Paper I, Paper 1. Now in the first question we've got to do order of operations correctly. We've got addition of fractions and we've got an of just means times here. So we're going to start by multiplying these two fractions together. So we'll do this bit first. So it's 5/6 times, now it's better if you change it from a mixed number to an improper fraction. So 1 2/5 is just 7/5. So that gives us 35/30, both in the 5 times table, which is just 7/6. Now alternatively, you could just cancel the 5 and the 5 there, giving you the 7/6. So now we've got to do 2 1/3 plus 7/6. So I'm just going to take my 2 and I'm going to shove that off to one side just for now, and I'm just going to add together 1/3 plus 7/6. Now they don't have the same denominator, so I'm going to take the first fraction and I'm going to times by 2 top and bottom. Now I don't need to do anything to the second one because the first one becomes 2/6 plus 7/6, and that is 9/6. Simplify it, they're both in the 3 times table, so 3/2, and that is going to be 1 1/2. So I'm going to take my 1 1/2, and I'm going to take my 2, I'm going to put them together, and that is going to give me 3 wholes and 1/2. Alternatively, you could have 7/2 as your answer, would also be acceptable. Now in question 2, we've got to solve an inequality. So I'm going to multiply the brackets and tidy everything up. So it's 5 minus x is greater than 2 times x is 2x, plus 2 times 1 is 2. Now I've got x's on both sides, this one's got a subtract there, so I'm going to add an x on both sides. So 5 is greater than 3x plus 2, I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. 3 is greater than 3x, divide by 3, 1 is greater than x, switch it round, x is less than 1. Now for number 3, we've got to factorise it. Now the method I use for factorising, it's probably not as common as some of the ones that other people use. So maybe what I'm going to go over here is not totally familiar to some of you. Also, some of it is like a little trick you use, and you're going to have to score out a couple of bits of the working out because one step isn't actually equal to the next step and so on. Okay, so it's important if you are going to use this method, you do score out certain steps as you go through. So you multiply the 2 and the -12 together. So we're multiplying to make -24, and we're adding to make -5. So in the brackets, we're going to have p, we're going to have p. Now to make -24 and add to make -5, it's going to be -8 and +3. Now this isn't the answer overall, because that times that does not give you this. You've got a coefficient of p squared of 2, so you stick it over 2 there. Now you've got to simplify both fractions if possible. So it's p minus 8/2 is just 4, p plus and 3/2 doesn't simplify. And if it doesn't simplify, you take the denominator and you put it there. So you get p minus 4 and then bracket 2p plus 3. Now this bracket isn't equal to this one, and that one isn't, well sorry, that one, this statement here, that is equal to that one, but that does not equal this. That's a little trick we use. So what we're going to do, so we don't lose any marks, is to score out those 2 lines of working out. So factorised, this is your answer, but your teacher maybe has a different method that they would be using with you. I'm going to show another one which I think is probably more commonly used. It's not my preference, but that's my personal preference anyway. So anyways, you were trying to make 2p squared. So you know in the 2 brackets you're going to have probably 2p and p. And then we want to multiply to make -12. So you've got lots of combinations. So you can have -1 and 12, 1 and -12. You can have 2 and -6, or -2 and 6, 2 and -6. Lots of combinations here. So it can take you quite a while to go through all the combinations to find the one that actually works. So then you do your multiplying like so. So you get 24p, and that's take away p. Well, 24 take away p doesn't give you the -5, so that's no good. So keep going. So that's going to give me -24, and I do the 2p times that. -24p, p times 1 is p. Well, that and that does not give me -5, so I've got to keep going. So you just go through all the combinations until you eventually find the relevant one. And just to skip a few steps, so if we've got 4 and -3, -4 and 3, we could have 3 and -4, -3 and +4. So let's see if we can get to the combination this way. So multiplying those gives me negative 6p. That gives me 4p. Adding those gives me negative 2p. That's no good. 2p times 3 is 6p. That'll be negative 4p. That'll give me 2p. No good. Try the next one. 2p times negative 4, negative 8p. P times 3 is 3p. Negative 8p plus 3p gives me my negative 5p. So in the first bracket, it's going to be 2p plus 3, which I've got there. In the second bracket, it's p minus 4, which I've got there. So if you prefer that method, just stick with using that.